Ah, hello again, old friend. How nice of you to stop by. Come in and I'll put on a kettle of rosebud tea. I'm sure your old muscles could use a cup or two. Now tell me, what brings you back around after all these years? The last time we saw each other was at the Hidden Festival of Forbidden Knowledge where we lectured on the principles of abyssal magic. Ah yes, those were the days. Huh? Oh, sorry, I didn't see you there. Well, hello. I'm Natural Wizard, and welcome back to my channel. For today's video, we will be taking another glimpse into the subreddit of idontworkherelady. We've got some wholesome stories, and we've got some crazy ones. So, let's begin. So, basically, I live in a small apartment above a bar that has a really good kitchen. Over time, I've become friends with the owner, who are really great people. The past weekend, there was lots of noise coming from the bar at about midnight, so I came to complain. They said they couldn't do much about the noise. It was a crowd watching a game. But if I came in at some point this week, they'd give me a dinner for free as an apology. That brings us to yesterday. I'd gotten off of work late and didn't feel like cooking, so I decided to cash in that aforementioned free dinner. As I'm eating, things start to get really loud and busy again, so I asked for my meal to be put into a to-go container. The owner said I could just take the plate upstairs, as long as I return it later that night or the next day. As I'm leaving, still shoveling fries into my mouth, I notice a woman trying to flag me down from her table. I assumed she was looking at a server behind me, so I took no notice and walk outside, carrying my dinner. I put down the plate to open my door, and while I'm rooting through my pocket, I feel a sharp tap on my shoulder.
Don't just ignore me like that. I ordered almost 40 minutes ago, and I've not got my food. This is unacceptable.
This can't be true, considering even when it's packed I've never waited longer than 30. Okay? Not quite sure what she wants.
What do you mean, okay? What are you going to do about it? I want my meal discounted for this.
Now realizing what's happened. Oh, I don't work there. You'll need to speak to someone who does about doing that. Opening the door.
Don't lie to me.
Looks past me, up the stairs.
I know you guys are just hiding up there instead of working. I'd like to speak to the owner.
Lady, this is my apartment. Please leave me alone. Holding door open while I bend over to pick up my meal. Lady pushes past me, charges up the stairs, screaming as she goes.
You guys better get back to work! There are people waiting to be served down here!
What the heck? At this point she's reached the top of the stairs and is now looking around my room, realizing the only person she was yelling to was my fish, who I'm sure wasn't in any mood to serve her anything after that. See? Get the hell out of my apartment. Angry, tired, and fantasizing about the burger on the plate in my hand.
Well, it doesn't change the fact that I've been waiting ages for my food, and that's unacceptable. Clearly,
looks at my plate.
You know the owners, so I think you should still talk to them for me.
What the hell? Get out! I'm out of patience at this point and begin to walk towards her and try to usher her back down the stairs.
Don't touch me!
If you don't care, I'll find someone who does!
She ran back down the stairs and slammed the door on the way out. However, not before kicking a pair of my shoes into the street, which I then had to go collect. I saw the owner today when I gave the plate back, and he said the lady had come back down and caused a scene in the bar. Eventually, the bouncer removed her. I couldn't believe she still tried to act like she was right, even after she realized she was standing in my apartment, not a restaurant. Okay, lady, look. You can't just be barging into someone's apartment, screaming and shouting, because your food hasn't come yet. I know you really want your noodles with butter and parmesan, but it's busy and there's lots of tables in front of you. So you're just gonna have to wait like a normal adult. Okay, so this next one is really short, but I got a good laugh out of it, so I figured I'd share it with you guys. Me, out bowling with some friends. We have some pins stuck down our lane. Are you able to get them for us? I don't think I'm supposed to be down the lanes. Oh crap, you don't work here? You totally look like someone who works at a bowling alley. Me to myself, what the hell is that supposed to mean? Was wearing a hoodie and jeans. Guess my face just screams bowling alley.
Ah, now seems to be an adequate time for a wholesome fabric store story.
This was quite a few years ago, and I was wearing my high school uniform at the time. It was khaki pants and a bold colored polo shirt, which did make a lot of people think I was an employee of whatever store I was in. This was nothing close to the white shirt and green apron the employees of the fabric store wore. However, if anyone looked at me, it was pretty clear I was an awkward teenager. Anyway, in the same aisle as I was looking for fabric in were two older ladies that seemed lifted straight out of a stock photo. Professional Lady, and Sweet Grandmother. Sweet Grandmother asked me where I could find the yarn, and since I did know where that was located, I told her it was unfortunately at the opposite corner of the store. She thanked me and headed in that direction. Professional Lady sniffed dismissively.
Well, that was rude.
I didn't think much of it, and only knew she was even talking to me since she was looking directly at me. Nah, I knew where it was anyway, so it wasn't a big deal.
No, dear. You were rude. It's your job to show customers where to find what they're looking for, not tell them. You certainly wouldn't work for me with that attitude.
Oh, I don't work here, I'm just shopping. Professional Lady looks at me icily over the top of her glasses, turns red, and hastily remembers she has to be somewhere else now. Later, as I was heading to the checkout lane, I saw Sweet Grandmother again, and she flagged me down, taking my hand after I walked over to her.
You know, dear, I realized as I was getting my yarn that you don't work here. It was very sweet of you to help me anyway.
She let go of my hand and headed for the exit, leaving a caramel candy in my hand as she left. I love caramels. Remember in one of my previous videos when I said be nice to old people? Prime example, be nice to an old person, they just might surprise you with a sweet treat. In this person's case, it happened to be a nice tasty caramel. So in the 90s, I rented a large workshop with 2 friends. I was a woodworker and the other 2 were metal workers, so obviously none of us resembled the previous business, which had installed skylights. Cue the customer of the previous business. I have condensed this as the verbatim conversation went on for a very long time. Arrives at my door, a real Karen.
I need repairs done to the skylight you installed.
Sorry, that business has moved and I don't know where they are now.
No, I need you to send someone over now. The skylights are leaking.
As I said, the business has gone. We are a different company.
No, right now.
Repeat the above a half dozen times. About now, I'm realizing I am dealing with either a genuine loony or else someone too entitled to listen to plain common sense. I try another tact. Caveman speech. Who knows, it might get through.
Skylight business gone. New business come. You talking to new business now. Understand? No skylight here. Try look in effing phone book. You bugger off now.
Customer leaves in a big huff. It's all about communication, folks. Edit. Okay, all replies must be in caveman speak.
Me no skylight man. Yes, you skylight man.
I figured I would add in those comments just because they gave me a laugh. But come on, lady. Did you not look at the sign before walking into the workshop? Well, actually, maybe she did. Maybe the words on the new sign just looked like ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs to her, and figured that the old skylight guys were just changing up their marketing campaign. Wizard skylight installation. So much sunlight, you'll think you are in Egypt. I've been watching a lot of r/ videos on YouTube, and I decided to add to the collective by adding some of my own stories just to have something to do. Just to preface this, I did work at a Walmart, just not this one, and I was in the delayed entry program with the Marines. I was also still in my PT gear, which was navy blue t-shirt with the eagle, globe, and anchor on the front, the words Marines printed on the back, khaki shorts, and running shoes, which was very similar to what they wear in Lawn and Garden, where I did work, but in another store. I had just got back from PT, and I was hanging out with my friends. About 50 miles away from the recruiting office, we decided to go to Walmart just to mess around, because we had nothing better to do. We walked around a bit, and decided to go to the clearance aisle, which was on the side of the store with pets, lawn and garden, as well as hardware. We were all spreading out looking at random stuff. All of a sudden I'm pushed to the side a bit, followed by a sharp pain in my hip. First thing I think is my friends are messing with me and I just say, "Frick, come on dude, quit." But unfortunately, it's not. It's some lady that's the stereotypical let me speak to your manager kinda gal. She becomes pissed and says,
Excuse me, you shouldn't be cussing at work. I'm going to file a complaint with your manager. I know the manager, blah blah blah. I need you to patch his bag and give me a discount on it.
I look behind the lady and she has made a trail of dog food behind her, and the bag had a pretty considerable hole in it. My friends are just staring at us and kind of snickering. I point to the text on my shirt that says Marines, and before I could even say, "I'm sorry ma'am, I don't work here," she gets even angrier. She pulls out her phone and says,
That's stolen valor. I'm gonna call the cops and have you arrested.
She begins recording me and I just say, "Ma'am, I don't work here and I'm in the delayed entry program with the Marines." At this point she is still yelling at me, and my friends tried to defuse the situation, but this made her angrier. Apparently this got the attention of an actual employee, and thankfully a manager. He asks what happened, and before I can say a word, this lady says,
This child is impersonating a Marine. You need to have him arrested, and all the dog food is ripped, blah blah blah.
I eventually explain to him that I'm in the DEP with the Marines, and he says, yeah, I can tell. He calms down the lady and patches the bag for her and discounts the dog food as she requested. Okay, so I always find it amusing when the crazy person in a situation pulls out their phone and tries to record someone thinking that they're the one being wronged. It's like, okay, Dora the social justice explorer, I'm gonna need you to put that phone down for a second and listen to yourself talk, because you sound like a total biff right now. But yeah, we did it. We survived another dive into the sea of Reddit. But I am all out of time, and I would like to leave you with a question. What is the craziest kind of tea that you can think of? And what would its magical properties be? And if I see one in the comments that's kooky enough, I will build an intro story around it for a future video. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching and spending some time with me. And as always, don't forget your tea before you go.